Hey everyone. This time I guess I should be addressing Marvel comic fans, or should I say Disney Plus fans, MCU fans. I just got done watching She-Hulk episode 1, and honestly I really like it. Genuinely, I did not think I would like it as much as I did. It's been over 3 years since I've read a She-Hulk comic, and the most recent Hulk comic I read was Hulk vs. Thing Hard Knocks, which is not really even like a well-known story. Anyways, let's just say I'm an MCU fan that's not really into She-Hulk comics, which is, I guess, the truth. I'm a One Piece YouTuber. But I wanted to watch this show with my wife and my daughter, and I guess my son, but he didn't really care for it. He was just kind of running around the house, but, you know, he's 4. My wife, on the other hand, she was laughing the whole time. Sorry, I should have gotten water before. She was laughing the entire time. And there was a lot of jokes that I liked too. I genuinely don't think that the hate for this show is warranted. Especially if you've never picked up a comic book before, you don't really understand what is and what isn't corny. Like, you can't really necessarily compare the corniness of this show to other shows, because this show played out like the events of a typical Marvel comic book, especially modern Marvel. Like I said, the last Hulk story I read was Thing vs. Hulk Hard Knocks, which was like a while back, but for the most part, I haven't stopped keeping up with Marvel comics. The last time that I actually kept up with an entire storyline was back in 2016, but I keep up with Comic Story and stuff all the time, and I frequent the local comic book store in my area and hear all about the new happenings in the Marvel comics, so where we are right now in the comics isn't really far off from what the MCU is trying to do right now. That being said, there was 2 things about this show that I didn't really like, which would be the over-the-top nature of Smart Hulk, which I know sounds kind of weird, but his blaring insecurities is just frankly annoying. At this point, you have him go through so many weird character development arcs at it's just because you need him to be in a show, since I know you can't give him the licensing to make his own movie, but this representation of Hulk also kind of sucks. I'm just going to say that and leave it there. The second thing was the villain's introduction, how she just kind of hopped up in the courthouse. That is atypical of a comic book and what I like in my MCU shows and movies, but I did notice that she just kind of the camera had her looking for someone, but they didn't show who she should be looking for. Especially if you're popping up in a courthouse, you should know more or less where the person you're looking for is going to be sitting, no? Let's say she was looking for the judge. I mean, there's one place the judge is going to be, right? Let's say she's looking for not Jen Walters' client, but the other client. Well, that guy is either going to be on the stand next to one of the lawyers or on the stand next to the judge. So where was he? You know? And moreover, that scene in general just kind of felt like wire foo. But it wasn't bad. But it definitely felt like wire foo. And like I said, I'll just say it like that. It wasn't bad. But I mean, if you were going to say the show is overly corny, which I've seen nothing but people saying all over the internet the past couple days, I would say go watch any MCU movie. Or better yet, pick up a comic book and tell me you don't feel a little corny at the end of reading them. It's about superheroes, people that are not real, fictitious people. So if you don't like corny, you shouldn't be watching this stuff, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The show is good. People that said it's unrealistic for the group of women to go in the bathroom and doll her up or whatever. I mean, sure, it was exacerbated, but she is also a green woman, werewolf woman, so you know what I mean? You can't be comparing realism in an already fantasy superhero type show. It just doesn't make sense. I know I'm way better at keeping my thoughts in one solid line and not sounding like a goofball, but I literally just finished watching the show after watching a lot of people bash it for nothing but 3 or 4 days, and the entire time I'm just sitting there okay, well, this is pretty good. Haha, I like these jokes. They're funny, they're corny. I mean, I did think that it was a little bit archaic to have those three dudes try and hit on her outside the bar, but one, I don't go to bars, and two, I'm more than positive there are women who still get catcalled. That hasn't died out. It might be, different times, but there's got to be some goober somewhere who catcalls women still. Just saying. It wasn't a bad show. The training montage, I mean, corny as it was definitely how cousins act. No? If you're close with your cousin, do you not beef with them every once in a while? That's a question for people with cousins to answer, I guess, but honestly, people with siblings too. Like, you and your brother, you and your sister, I know me and my brother, me and my sister, if we were to have any type of dorky argument, it would more or less look like the way they fought, except superpowers. You know what I mean? Tackling each other and just calling each other stupid names and, oh shit, I broke mom's vase. You're telling mom. That's exactly what families do. And I mean, come on, this is like 10 years, 12 years of MCU stuff. So it's not like any of this stuff is new to us. It's not any worse than the first Thor movie, and it's definitely as good as Age of Ultron, so I'm not angry. I think it's a good show. I think we should give it a chance, and I can't wait to review episode 2. This has been Merch Hunter Ricky, and I review MCU stuff now. Have a good one.